The massive sensor array of the Galactic Council space station hummed with its usual rhythm. Commander Vex stood at his post, watching the endless void of space through the viewing screen. For 300 years, the Council had maintained peace. Across 47 star systems, no species dared challenge their authority. "Commander, we have unusual readings from Sector 7, said Officer Krell, his blue skin turning pale with concern. Vex moved to the sensor console. The screen showed multiple energy signatures moving through space at impossible speeds. These were not merchant vessels or patrol ships. The readings indicated heavy armor, massive weapon systems, and technology that didn't match any known species in their database. "Run the identification protocol," Vex ordered, though his voice carried a hint of worry. The computer processed the data. After several seconds, red warning lights filled the command center. The main screen displayed a single word that sent shivers through every being present. "Unknown. Sir, these ships, they're using some kind of stealth technology we've never seen before," Krell reported. "We only detected them because they chose to reveal themselves." Vex felt his heart skip a beat. The Council's sensors were the most advanced in the galaxy. Nothing could hide from them. Yet these ships had appeared from nowhere, like ghosts, materializing from the darkness. "How many?" Vex asked. 12 warships, sir. Each one is ... enormous, bigger than our largest battlecruiser." The command center fell silent. 12 warships of unknown origin, with technology beyond their understanding, had just announced their presence. Vex reached for the emergency communication device. "Alert the High Council immediately. Tell them we have a code black situation." As the message went out, more data came through the sensors. The ships were broadcasting a signal. It was simple, direct, and in perfect galactic standard language. "Terran fleet requesting diplomatic contact. Terrans?" Officer Krell searched the database. "Sir, I found something. There's a restricted file about a species called humans from a planet called Earth. It's marked as ... primitive." Vex accessed the file. It was old, dating back 50 years. A Council scout ship had discovered Earth and classified its inhabitants as a Type 0 civilization, barely capable of space travel, no threat to anyone. The Council had decided to leave them alone until they developed further. "This can't be right," Vex muttered. 50 years? They went from primitive to this in 50 years? The warships moved closer, maintaining perfect formation. Their hull designs were unlike anything in the Council's fleet. Angular, aggressive, built for war. Sensor scans revealed weapon ports, shield generators, and what appeared to be some kind of exotic matter reactor. "Commander, the Council is responding. They're sending the entire Third Fleet to intercept." Vex nodded, but something felt wrong. These humans had revealed themselves deliberately. They wanted to be seen. Why? The answer came moments later. Space itself seemed to ripple, and suddenly, where there had been 12 ships, there were now 60. They had been hiding in some kind of dimensional pocket, invisible to all sensors. Panic spread through the command center. Officers ran between stations, alarms blared, and emergency protocols activated across the station. The mighty Galactic Council, which had never faced a true threat, suddenly found itself confronting an unknown force with capabilities beyond their comprehension. "Sir, we're receiving another transmission from the human fleet." "Put it through," Vex ordered. A face appeared on the screen, distinctly human, with features that seemed both soft and hard at the same time. The human spoke with calm authority. "Galactic Council, this is Admiral John Blake of the Terran Union. We come in peace, but we are prepared for war. 50 years ago, your scouts visited our world and judged us primitive. You were wrong. Humanity has been watching, learning, and preparing. We've studied your technology, improved upon it, and developed our own. We know about your empire, your rules, and your treatment of younger species. We're here to join the galactic community, but on our terms, as equals. You have 1 hour to respond. The transmission ended. Vex stood frozen, staring at the screen. In 3 centuries, no species had ever challenged the Council's authority. Now, a race they had dismissed as primitive had arrived with a fleet that could potentially destroy everything they had built. The age of human emergence had begun. Asterisk. High Chancellor Rex sat in the emergency session chamber, surrounded by representatives from all 47 member species. The holographic displays showed the human fleet in perfect detail. 60 warships, holding position just outside Council space. Each ship bristled with weapons, their dark hulls reflecting no light, like predators waiting in the shadows. How is this possible? Demanded Ambassador Tor of the Crexian Empire. The report said humans were using chemical rockets and basic nuclear power. Clearly, the reports were wrong, Rex replied, his voice heavy with concern. Or the humans deceived our scouts. The chamber erupted in arguments. Some called for immediate military action, others for negotiation. Fear spread like wildfire through the assembled beings. For the first time in their history, the Galactic Council faced an unknown threat. Science Advisor Da raised his hand for silence. I've analyzed their ships. The technology is ... remarkable. They're using quantum entanglement for instant communication, antimatter reactors for power, and their weapons. He paused, his face turning gray. Their weapons could punch through our strongest shields. Impossible, shouted General Carr. Our shields are impenetrable. Not to directed energy weapons using focused gravitational waves, Dal explained. The humans have weaponized gravity itself. One shot could tear a ship apart from the inside. The room fell silent. Gravitational manipulation was theoretical, even to the Council's best scientists. Yet these humans had not only mastered it, but turned it into a weapon. There's more, Dal continued. Their ships show signs of artificial intelligence integration, nanotechnology repair systems, and what appears to be faster-than-light communication without using subspace. They've achieved in 50 years what took us 5,000. Rex stood, his 4 arms spread for attention. We must consider the possibility that humans are more dangerous than any species we've encountered. But they said they come in peace, offered Ambassador Yill, her voice trembling. They also said they're prepared for war, Rex reminded them. And they brought 60 warships to a peaceful meeting. General Carr activated the tactical display. The Third Fleet is in position, Chancellor. 300 ships against their 60. We have numerical superiority, do we? Rex asked. They revealed 60 ships after showing us 12. How many more are they hiding? As if answering his question, alerts began flooding in from sensor stations across Council space. Human ships were being detected everywhere, near mining colonies, trade routes, even orbiting uninhabited worlds. They had been there for who knows how long, invisible and watching. By the void, whispered Ambassador Tor. They've mapped our entire territory. The human admiral's face appeared on the main screen again. Admiral Blake looked calm, almost friendly, but his eyes held a steel that made even the warrior species in the Council uncomfortable. Galactic Council, I understand you're discussing our presence. Let me ease your concerns. We don't want war. Humanity has studied your history, your conflicts, your peace. We admire what you've built. But we've also seen how you treat species you consider inferior. You leave them defenseless, deny them technology, and keep them dependent on your protection. Blake paused, letting his words sink in. Humanity refuses to be anyone's subordinate. We've come to join the galactic community as equals. We're willing to share our technology, contribute to collective defense, and follow reasonable laws. But we will not be controlled, restricted, or treated as lesser beings. The transmission shifted to show Earth, a blue and green jewel in space. But around it orbited massive shipyards, defense platforms, and hundreds more warships under construction. "This is just our home fleet," Lake continued. "We have colonies in 12 systems you haven't discovered yet. We've been preparing for this moment since your scouts left. We studied the galaxy, developed our technology in secret, and built our strength. Not to conquer, but to ensure we could stand as equals." Rex felt the weight of decision pressing down on him. The Council had two choices: accept humanity as equals or risk a war with an enemy they didn't understand. "What do you want?" Rex asked directly. "Recognition as a sovereign power, a seat on the Council, freedom to trade and travel without restrictions, and most importantly, the right to share our technology with any species that wants it, regardless of their development level." The last demand sent shockwaves through the chamber. The Council's power came from controlling technology distribution. If humans shared freely, it would revolutionize the galaxy or destroy the order they had maintained for centuries. Asterisk. Ambassador Mark Stone stepped onto the Council station, flanked by 2 guards in power armor that hummed with barely contained energy. The Council had agreed to a face-to-face meeting, and humanity had chosen their representative carefully. Stone was a veteran diplomat, but more importantly, he was a survivor of Earth's unification wars. He understood both peace and conflict. The meeting hall was massive, designed to intimidate with its soaring architecture and holographic displays of Council power. Representatives from dozens of species filled the amphitheater, their eyes, or equivalent sensory organs, fixed on the human delegation. High Chancellor Rex stood at the central podium. "Ambassador Stone, you stand before the Galactic Council that has maintained peace for 3 centuries. State your intentions." Stone walked forward, his footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. He was smaller than most species present, but something about his movement, controlled, confident, predatory, made even the largest beings shift uncomfortably. "Chancellor Rex, honored representatives," Stone began, his voice carrying clearly through the hall. "Humanity comes with a simple message. The age of secrets is over." He activated a holographic projector, displaying star charts. "For 300 years, you've told younger species that faster-than-light travel takes centuries to develop. That's a lie. You've told them that energy weapons are impossibly complex. Another lie. You've maintained power by keeping others ignorant." Angry voices rose from the Council members, but Stone continued. "We know because we did it ourselves. When your scouts left Earth, they gave us something precious, knowledge that we weren't alone, but they also showed us your arrogance. You saw our cities, our wars, our struggles, and declared us primitive. You never looked deeper." The hologram shifted to show Earth's history, but not the wars and destruction the Council expected. Instead, it showed cooperation, the International Space Station, the Mars colonies, the moment humanity united after learning about alien life. You saw our conflicts and thought we were violent primitives. You didn't see that we're problem solvers. Every war taught us about strategy. Every disaster taught us about survival. Every challenge made us stronger. And when we learned about the galaxy, we did something you never expected. We united instantly. Ambassador Tor stood angrily. "You speak of unity, yet you bring warships to our doorstep." Stone turned to face him. "We brought warships because we studied your history. Every species that came to you weak was either absorbed or destroyed. The Malodi were forced to give up their home system. The Quellans were restricted to 2 planets. The Drex were made into a servant class. We will not share their fate. Those species were protected." Rex protested, given guidance. "They were enslaved with kindness," Stone replied flatly. "Made dependent on your technology, your protection, your approval. That's not protection, it's control. He activated another display showing human colonies. In 50 years, we've colonized 12 systems. We did it without your technology, without your permission, without your knowledge. We developed quantum computing, antimatter reactors, and gravitational manipulation, not because we're special, but because we weren't limited by your restrictions. General Carr stood, his warrior's pride offended. You claimed superiority, yet you're one species against 47. Stone smiled, an expression that didn't reach his eyes. General, would you like a demonstration? Before anyone could respond, every screen in the chamber flickered. For a moment, they showed the Council's most classified files, military positions, weapons specifications, secret treaties. Then, just as quickly, they returned to normal. We've been in your systems for 2 years, Stone explained calmly. Your quantum encryption, your secure networks, your classified databases, we've had access to all of it. We could have destroyed you from within, but we didn't, because we don't want to be conquerors. We want to be partners. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some members called for immediate military action, others for surrender. Rex raised his arms. For silence. What exactly are you proposing? He asked. Stone's expression softened slightly. A new age. Humanity will join the Council, but will also establish an independent alliance for any species that wants true freedom. We'll share our technology freely, defend those who can't defend themselves, and explore the galaxy without restrictions. The Council can join us in this vision, or it can try to stop us. But make no mistake, the old way is ending, one way or another. He paused, then added, You have 48 hours to decide. In that time, we'll be establishing diplomatic contact with every species in Council space, especially those you've deemed primitive. They deserve to know they have options. Asterisk the Council chamber had never seen such division. Half the representatives argued for war, the other half for peace. But while they debated, humanity acted. On the mining world of Kepler-7, human ships appeared beside the Urani workers, a species the Council had restricted to manual labor for a century. The humans didn't just offer words. They gave the Urani quantum processors, medical nanotechnology, and education programs dot on the agricultural planet Harvest 3. Human ambassadors met with the Tilani, a species kept at pre-industrial levels for their own protection. Within hours, the Tilani were learning about electricity, computers, and space travel. Admiral Blake watched from his flagship, the TUS Prometheus, as reports flooded in. Every protected species in Council space was being offered a choice: remain under Council control or join humanity's alliance of equals. Admiral, his communications officer reported, we're receiving responses. The Urani want to join us. So do the Tilani, the Melody, and 17 other species. Blake nodded. This had always been the real strategy. Not to defeat the Council militarily, but to remove their foundation of power, the control over lesser species. On the Council station, chaos reigned. Ambassador Yill rushed into Rex's office. Chancellor, the protected species are leaving. They're accepting human technology, declaring independence. Rex stood at his window, watching human ships ferry excited alien delegations to and from planets. I know. We must stop them. How? Rex asked quietly. If we attack the humans, we prove everything they've said about us. If we threaten the protected species, we become the tyrants they claim we are. General Carr entered, his face grim. Chancellor, I've run every simulation. If we fight the humans, we might win, but at tremendous cost. And that's assuming they've shown us all their capabilities, which I doubt. What do you recommend, General? Carr, the proud warrior, spoke words he never thought he would. negotiate, accept their terms. Join their alliance before we lose everything. Rex turned to face them. You're suggesting we surrender? I'm suggesting we evolve, Carr replied. The humans aren't trying to destroy us. They're offering us a chance to be part of something greater. Look at what they've accomplished, not through conquest, but through sharing knowledge. In 2 days, they've advanced dozen species by centuries. A communication request appeared on Rex's screen. It was from the Urani representative, someone who had never been allowed to speak in the council chambers. Chancellor Rex, the Urani said, his voice strong with newfound confidence. We thank the council for its protection over the years, but we choose to stand with humanity. They offer us not protection, but partnership, not safety, but freedom. We hope the council will join us in this new age. Rex felt the weight of history on his shoulders. For 300 years, the council had maintained order through control. Now, a species they had dismissed as primitive was offering a different path, one of shared knowledge and mutual respect. Contact Admiral Blake, Rex ordered. Tell him the council wishes to discuss terms of partnership. The relief in the room was palpable, but Rex knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy was about to change in ways none of them could predict. Blake appeared on the screen, and for the first time, he smiled genuinely. Chancellor Rex, I'm glad to hear it. Humanity doesn't want to tear down what you've built. We want to help you build something better. Together, we can explore the universe, protect those who need it, and advance all species equally. Your terms? Rex asked. Simple. The council transforms from a governing body to an advisory one. All technology restrictions are lifted. Every species gets a voice, regardless of their development level. And we establish joint human council exploration fleets to seek out new life and new civilizations. Rex considered. It meant the end of the council's absolute power, but perhaps that was overdue. We accept, Rex said. But I have one question. How did humanity develop so quickly? What's your secret? Blake's smile widened. No secret, Chancellor. We just did something the council never did. We assumed everyone was capable of greatness if given the chance. We bet on potential, not control, and we were right. 6 months had passed since humanity's arrival changed the galaxy forever. The Grand Assembly Hall, once the exclusive domain of the council, now hosted representatives from every sentient species, regardless of their technological level. Admiral Blake, now serving as humanity's senior representative, stood beside Chancellor Rex as they watched the transformed galaxy unfold before them. The viewing screens showed remarkable scenes. Urani scientists working alongside human researchers on quantum computing, Tilani engineers designing their first starships with council guidance, and mixed-species crews exploring uncharted systems. I never imagined it would work this quickly, Rex admitted, his voice carrying a note of wonder. Blake nodded. Fear holds back progress, Chancellor. Remove the fear, share the knowledge, and watch civilizations bloom. A young Melody scientist approached them, her excitement barely contained. Admiral Blake, Chancellor Rex, we've done it. The combined Human Council Melody team has cracked the dimensional barrier. We can now explore parallel universes. Rex's eyes widened. The Melody had been restricted to basic technology just a year ago. Now they were pioneering discoveries that had eluded the Council for millennia. Excellent work, Dr. Lua. Blake congratulated her. This is exactly what happens when we combine different perspectives and approaches. As she hurried away to continue her research, Rex turned to Blake. Your species has given us more than technology. You've given us a new way of thinking. We've given you what was always there, Blake corrected. The ability to trust, to share, to grow together. The Council was so afraid of chaos that it created stagnation. We showed you that chaos can lead to creation. A communication alert interrupted them. It was Captain Tom Harris from the exploration. Vessel Unity, a ship crewed by members of 30 different species. Admiral Chancellor, we've made first contact with a new civilization in the Spiral Arm sector. They're spacefaring, peaceful, and interested in joining the Alliance. Excellent, Captain, Blake responded. Follow the new protocols. Share freely, hide nothing, and welcome them as equals. Rex watched as humanity's approach continued to reshape their galaxy. Where the Council had once approached new species with caution and control, the Human Council Alliance now offered open hands and open knowledge. Admiral, Rex said thoughtfully, I've been reviewing our old files. We marked dozens of species as too dangerous or too primitive for contact. Perhaps it's time to revisit those classifications. Blake smiled. Now you're thinking like a human, Chancellor. Every species has something unique to offer. The dangerous ones might just be misunderstood. The primitive ones might surprise us, just like humanity surprised you. In the months that followed, the galaxy experienced a renaissance. Technologies that had been hoarded were now shared freely. Species that had been isolated were now partners. The Crexians, once pure warriors, discovered they had a talent for poetry when given access to other cultures. The logical Vendari found joy in human music. The artistic Quillari revolutionized starship design with their aesthetic approaches, but perhaps the most significant change came from Earth itself. Humanity opened its homeworld to visitors, sharing not just their technology, but their culture, their history, their mistakes and triumphs. Aliens walked the streets of New York, studied in Beijing universities, and surfed in Australian waters. One day, a young Urani child asked Blake a question during a school visit. Admiral, why did humans help us when the Council wouldn't? Blake knelt to the child's level. Because we remembered something important. Every strong species was once weak. Every advanced civilization was once primitive. We helped because we remembered what it was like to look at the stars and dream of reaching them. And we believed every species deserves that chance. The child's teacher, a Council species member, listened with tears in her eyes. This was the lesson humanity had taught them, that strength came not from control, but from lifting others up. As the first year of the new alliance ended, representatives gathered for a celebration. The hall that had once echoed with debates about control now rang with laughter, shared stories, and collaborative plans for the future. Chancellor Rex stood to address the assembly. 1 year ago, humanity arrived at our doorstep. We saw warships and feared invasion. We saw strength and feared domination. But humanity brought us something we didn't expect. They brought us hope. Hope that we could be better, that we could trust, that we could grow together rather than apart. He raised his glass in a human gesture he had learned. To humanity, who reminded us that the greatest strength is not in standing above others, but in helping them stand beside us. The cheer that erupted came from 100 different species, in 100 different languages, but the message was the same. The galaxy had found a new way forward, and it was brighter than anyone had imagined. Blake stood as well, raising his own glass. To the future, not of human dominance or council control, but of true unity. Today, we are not humans, Crexians, Urani, or any single species. Today, we are citizens of the galaxy, explorers of the universe, and friends across the stars. As the celebration continued into the night, Earth's gift to the galaxy became clear. It wasn't their technology or their warships that changed everything. It was their belief that every species, no matter how small or primitive they might seem, had the potential for greatness. The age of control was over. The age of unity had begun. And in the vast darkness of space, the combined fleets of the Human Council Alliance pushed ever outward, seeking new friends among the stars, ready to share the gift of knowledge and freedom with whoever they might find.